What happened to the funniest kid in your school? Aaron was the guy who could make you laugh during a funeral. I'm not even exaggerating. This dude turned everything into a comedy show. Since 6th grade, teachers knew they were in for a ride when they saw his name on their roster. He'd walk into class doing impressions, turn every group project into Saturday Night Live, and somehow convince substitute teachers that Freestyle Friday was a real thing where we rapped about photosynthesis. The crazy part was, everyone loved him for it. Even the strictest teachers would bite their lips trying not to smile when Aaron got going. I remember this one time in English class, we were supposed to present serious monologues from Shakespeare. Aaron gets up there and delivers Hamlet's soliloquy like he's a surfer from California. To be or not to be, bro, that's literally the vibe check of all vibe checks. The teacher just put her head in her hands, but you could see her shoulders shaking from laughter. That was Aaron's superpower. He made school bearable. Hell, he made it fun. Kids who were too shy to talk to anyone became part of his comedy sketches. He'd pull quiet kids into his jokes, make them the heroes of his made-up stories, and suddenly they had friends. During state testing week, when everyone was stressed beyond belief, Aaron showed up with a rubber chicken named Professor Clucksworth that he claimed was his emotional support animal. Security tried to confiscate it, but Aaron had the whole cafeteria chanting "Free Clucksworth" until they gave up. Then spring break of senior year happened, and everything changed. First day back, Aaron walks into homeroom completely silent. Not like quiet Aaron, preparing for a big punchline. Silent Aaron, dead silent. Our teacher asked him if he wanted to share what he did over break, something Aaron would usually turn into a 20-minute stand-up routine. He just shakes his head. No smile, no smirk, nothing. At lunch, he sits at our usual table, and we're all waiting. This has to be a setup, right? Maybe the longest joke build-up in history. Tobias tries to get him going, throws him easy setups that Aaron would normally knock out of the park. Nothing. Aaron just nods or shakes his head. That's it. Days turn into a week, then 2 weeks, then a month. People start coming up with theories. Maybe he lost a bet. Maybe it's some weird senior prank that'll pay off at graduation. But you could see it in his eyes. This wasn't a joke. Teachers started getting concerned. The guidance counselor pulled him in. The principal tried to talk to him. Aaron just sat there, silent, nodding when required, shaking his head when necessary, but never speaking a single word. Then he stopped showing up altogether. Missed prom, where he was supposed to MC. Missed senior skip day, which he'd been planning since freshman year. Missed the senior talent show that he'd won 3 years running. It was like Aaron had just evaporated. Rumors went wild. Someone said they saw him at a therapist's office. Another person swore he'd gotten into substances. Someone's mom heard from someone's aunt that he'd had a complete mental breakdown. Then my friend who volunteered at the Children's Therapy Center downtown saw something that revealed everything. Aaron was there every single day, sitting in the waiting room. Not for himself, for his little sister Gracie. That's when we learned what had been happening behind all those jokes. Gracie was 8 years old, and about 6 months before Aaron went silent, something horrible happened to her at school. Some older kids thought it would be funny to lock her in the janitor's closet during recess. For 3 hours, this little girl was trapped in the dark, screaming for help while everyone was in class. By the time a custodian found her, Gracie had gone completely quiet. She hasn't spoken a word since. The doctors called it selective mutism, triggered by severe trauma. While Aaron was making us laugh until our stomachs hurt, he was watching his baby sister disappear into herself. Every afternoon, when we thought he was probably writing new material or whatever class clowns do, he was driving Gracie to therapy, sitting in waiting rooms, holding her hand during sessions where she couldn't tell the therapist what hurt. His jokes at school got more intense, more manic, because it was the only way he could hold it together. We thought he was fearless, but he was terrified. The therapist told his family Gracie might never speak again. The reason Aaron stopped talking was something none of us could have imagined. He made a pact with Gracie. He told her, if you can't talk, then I won't either. We're in this together. He couldn't stand being the funny guy anymore. How could he make everyone laugh when his sister couldn't even say help? Every joke felt like betrayal. Every laugh felt like he was abandoning her. Gracie finally spoke again in August. Her first words were, "I love you, Aaron."